Let's talk more about this with Congressman Kevin McCarthy of California. He's the majority whip in the House. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
First off, I want to talk about the Senate.
Yes.
Was Senator Ted Cruz right or wrong to stand up as he did for the 21 hours and also demand that Republicans stand together to filibuster the effort for Senator Reid to amend it and strip out the legislation that you have to defund Obamacare?
Yes. Anybody that could stand up 21 hours makes the case, deserves the respect being able to do that. And look, every day that it goes forward, even the president's making our case stronger. Today he comes out delaying, and he attacks us for wanting to delay Obamacare. He's already wanting to delay it because of the problems that exist in it. Every day the case gets stronger.
It wasn't a filibuster, obviously, but he's suggesting that in this next vote, it should be filibustered to be kept alive as is. In other words, the House bill should be kept alive as is without allowing Senator Reid to amend it to strip it out. Do you agree with that or not?
Yes, because the more you're able to talk about it. Today you've got your first Democrat in the Senate to say no, he would switch over. You only need 5 more to get to 51. So the more that people hear about this, the more they understand. Every day that goes forward, you get a new business that says they're rolling people off. It goes to the core of what the president tried to sell the American people. If you currently like the health care you have, you can keep it. We find that is not true. If you purchase something and the guarantee didn't meet, you would take it back or you would delay it. That is what we're trying to do here.
But there aren't too many days, Congressman, before Tuesday and the shutdown.
The time will allow it to get to the vote. I imagine by tomorrow they will have this vote by 12:30. There'll be plenty of time for the House to analyze what they do. If we want to do something new, we will send back to them in another provision.
Now, it won't, from what I heard from the House Speaker, it won't be a clean continuing resolution. There will be something. If the Senate sends something back, there will be something from the House?
I believe there'll be something much different that'll go back to the Senate.
And does that risk the possibility of a shutdown?
No. Nobody wants a shutdown. Look, what's most interesting here, you have 7 bills that have become law that have 8 different provisions that have changed in Obamacare. You have 70 current Democrats that sit in that Capitol in the House of Representatives that have voted for those provisions to be changed. I believe there can be real change as we move forward, and that is why there is plenty of time to look at what they have, to act just as the founders created, one body and another, to put their views and send it back.
Oftentimes in Washington, things are wrapped politically. So what does it take Republicans to be able to successfully blame Democrats if there is a shutdown?
No.
Because historically, you know, Republicans would be blamed for something like this, and it's shaping up that way in the media that around the country.
You don't hear from any Republicans saying they want to shut down. We have gone through these processes before. We have not shut down since we have become the majority. So that stuff is just for a political argument. The argument we want to start having is about policy. The policy of an idea of a system that is hurting healthcare and hurting America. When you found the majority of Americans disagree with this bill, when you find a new business every day saying this is harming the healthcare that individuals are getting provided, when you have a study saying if Obamacare has been in effect 10 years, there'll still be 30 million uninsured. It does not do the job that the president went out to sell to the country. So why don't we do something different?
All right, take a listen to Senator Cruz today on a conference call talking about you, House Republicans.
House Republicans can, and I believe should, continue to stand their ground. And so if the House holds firm, Harry Reid has no ability to muscle the House of Representatives if they stand their ground.
So is the fight on this, the continuing resolution and this whole standoff, or are House Republicans now going to move the fight to the debt ceiling debate?
There has always been, you've had the continuing resolution and you have the debt ceiling. Both of those have always been in the mix to be able to move as far as you can get as you go forward. The Secretary of Treasury just came out. October 17th is the deadline. You know what's most interesting is the president took the time to call the speaker last Friday just to say he wouldn't negotiate.
He said it again today.
Yeah. But you know what? Did you look at the polls? 61% of Americans believe you should negotiate on the debt ceiling. You have a $17 trillion debt. People want to see a difference in the direction of where we're going. It's from a 2-to-1 margin, American public want to negotiate. The president has a time to negotiate with Iran, has a time to negotiate with Russia, but he doesn't have the time to negotiate about the American direction in our economy. That's unacceptable. We welcome the president to negotiate with us. We want to. Why do you want to continue just to add to the debt? Don't we want to get this economy moving again? We have pro-growth, tax reform, Keystone Pipeline. We have the ability to put this country back to work. This is an opportunity that should move forward and have both sides, just as the founders created that we should negotiate.
We asked people on Twitter to send in some questions for you. Gary Posey asked this. Ask Representative McCarthy, will the GOP fight to take away the congressional exemptions and subsidies from the ACA, the Affordable Care Act?
I think you're going to find a lot of different things that get brought up as we move forward, and there's every option that we continue to look at. The one thing you've got to find in this as we move forward is here's a president that took the time to delay once again Obamacare function because it's not ready for prime time, but criticize Republicans for wanting to delay it. I think that's why the American people, overwhelming the majority, think that this is not ready.
So is the push for delay this time continuing resolution or in the debt ceiling?
Look, this is a fight that's going to continue because we do not give up. We want to move this country in the right direction.
Congressman McCarthy, thanks so much for coming in.
And thanks for having me.